Alright everyone, Joe back doing another vinyl update. This is vinyl update number 4. Drinking a coffee because it's early. Yeah, I was going to upload a video the other day, but I was waiting for some stuff to arrive, so I thought there's no point. I might as well wait. Got a bunch of 7 inches, a bunch of LPs, the usual stuff. Right now listening to the self-titled album by Gallows. This is after the departure of Frank Carter, after the first 2 albums, which are classics in my opinion. This is Wade McNeil from Alexisonfire, taking over on vocals. Really good record. I saw them on tour around this kind of time, like 10 years ago or something. Really good show, great album. I love this one, so I thought I'd stick it on. I haven't heard it in, well, a number of years, so I thought I'd go for that this morning. Have a quick sip of coffee. Alright, I'll get started on the 7 inches. Alright, first of all, this is Benefits of War by The Virus. Virus are a punk band from Philadelphia, street punk band from sort of like the early 2000s. I believe this is their last recording they did before they like called it a day, like back in like the early 2000s. This is on a nice sort of splattery colour vinyl. Yeah, cool. Glad to have this. Is on Punk Core Records, sort of stuff I'm trying to track down at the moment. My old band opened for The Virus when they played next to there like 4 or 5 years ago. That was good fun, so glad to have that one. Alright, next, if I can grab it. This is Carry Out Fucking by Ghoul. Ghoul, a sort of hardcore punk band from Japan from like the late 80s, I believe. I think they only released like a couple of records, this being one of them. Excuse me. This is a reissue because I believe their like original copy goes for like loads of money. So this is really cool to have. Yeah, the singer like passed away. I think he went into like a coma or something for a couple of years and then like ended up passing away. Funny enough, I looked it up and I think he was in a coma for like 3 years. But he actually died on my birthday, like the day I was born, 26th September 1992. So that was strange. But yeah, a really cool band, like really cool to have that one. Next is a picture disc. This is Let's Get Drunk by Antidote. Yeah, cool, like street punk band from the 90s. This is like a, I don't know, I think this is like a, this is obviously a reissue, but there's a session. A lot of the songs ended up on like another one of their LPs, but I think this is like they're different versions or whatever, like kind of a different session or whatever. So this is cool to have, like nice sort of drinking punk rock, you know. Right, next, from the East Bay, California, I think they're from there. This is Quit Talking Cloud or Claude or whatever, by Crimp Shrine. Really cool band from like the late 80s, early 90s. Members later on going on to like Pinhead Gunpowder and 15 and stuff. This is really cool to have. I love this record. It's, you know, very like raw and like, you know, it's cool. I love it. But yeah, I never thought I'd actually have this because I thought stuff like this was, you know, hard to come by in this country, you know. Okay, next, another punk core record. This is the Vodkas. This is like their first 7 inch, I think. Before like, yeah, I believe it's their first 7 inch. Before like they started releasing, they got like a couple of LPs, like with their original singer. Yeah, 1998. This is from. Oh yeah, really cool. Again, it's not something I figured that I would sort of find for sale in this country. Got it on eBay, which is really cool. Recently reformed as well with their like second singer, because I know that there was some sort of like weird stuff with the first singer about, you know, sort of like right wing or something. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, really cool street punk from like that era. And next, something kind of similar. This is a split 7 inch by the Discogs and Tom and Boot Boys. This is a like Japanese Pogo punk band. This is from like 1990, I want to say 7 maybe, something like that. 1995, 1996, 97, around that kind of time. Really cool. I mentioned before about like this Russian MP3 punk website that I had. That's how I discovered the that I found years ago. That's how I discovered the Discogs. So, and these are like mint. Like I got these on eBay like recently, and these are like proper like really nice condition, which again, you never would have thought you would just come across on eBay. You know, I paid like a £5 for this. You know, it was crazy. Moving on, again something similar. This is Class 94 by the Discogs. This is like I think their like first EP or something. Funny enough, the B-side, we've got 2 songs that are covers of the Ejected, and obviously you can tell from the front cover that they're big Ejected fans. Have You Got 10p and East End Kids? Yeah, really cool. Again, absolutely mint, really nice to have. So that's really cool that I found this. Knockout Records, it says. Alright, next. This is Too Young to Know, Too Reckless to Care by the Unseen. Really, really, really early Unseen. Funny enough, I was just like re-sleeving this, like 10 minutes ago, and I noticed that the sleeve is like, it's been like printed and like folded, like, you know, whether the band did that or the label did that, but it was folded like really wrong, so I had to kind of refold it a bit so it fit in the sleeve. But yeah, it's like it's just been printed out and like sliced, like they've done like loads of copies and stuff, which is really cool. I might be their first record, I'm not sure, but yeah, either way, really cool to have this. Again, never thought I'd find this. Alright, this is probably one of my favourite 7-inches ever. I love this so much, especially B-side. It's kind of going on from the Unseen. This is the Freeze. It's like Bloodlights side A and Talking Bombs side B. This is, when I say that, it's because the Unseen covered Talking Bombs on their like final album. But yeah, I love these songs so much. I love the Freeze anyway. And I think this is an original pressing on Tang Records. I might be wrong, but I think that cover's so cool. But yeah, those 2 songs are like 2 of my favourite songs ever. Just so good. Fucking love it. Like, you know, Boston's finest. Great band. You know, I love everything that Freeze have done because they've done quite a lot of different stuff, and I think they're great. Like, all their stuff's great. But yeah, so that's that for the 7-inches. I'm worried these are going to fall over. Hang on, let me sort this out. So. Have a sip of coffee. Hope everyone's doing all right. It's funny actually because I got paid like a week ago, and I've spent like all of my like personal money that I would like allocate for like records already. So some of these stuff is, all those 7-inches I've got literally in the last like week or so. Like I said, a lot of them I was waiting for, but some of this stuff I've had for a little while, but you know, a couple of months or something like that. So some of them are new, but anyway, let's get to it. So first of all, this is Drop Dead by Siege. This is like the 2015 reissue or something like that. It's on like a really cool like, oh hello, like, I don't know if you can see that, like a turquoise marble-y thing. Great band. From Massachusetts, like the 80s, like early 80s, kind of like the precursor to like power violence and like grindcore maybe. Yeah, I mean, if you want someone that's gonna like knock your socks off, this is the record. I mean, this is great. I remember the first time I heard Siege, I thought they were from like, you know, they were like a current band. You know, years ago. I couldn't believe that they were actually from the 80s because they were just so above everything that was going on at the time. I guess they were just doing their own thing and it sort of led on to all the other stuff. So yeah, really cool to have this. Really glad I got this. So that's Siege. Alright, next. This is the Discord like compilation of Teen Idols, State of Alert, Government Issue and Youth Brigade. Like there's the first 7-inches like put onto a 12-inch. Yeah, like this is a classic must-have record really. Obviously Ian Mackay went on to be in Minor Threat, and Henry Rollins went on to be obviously in Black Flag. Government Issue and Youth Brigade are great bands in their own right. Yeah, really cool. Really pleased to have this. I've had this for a little while, but I thought I would show it anyway. Funny enough, side A of Gallows has just finished, so I'm just going to turn it over. God, I love this record. So good. Anyway, are you in? Yeah, fantastic. Right, leading on to something slightly different. This is the first album by a band called Lucifer. This is before Nicky Anderson from the Helicopters joined, so this is like the first album when they were like a lot more doomier. But this is a reissue. This is on like a sort of a sparkly, glittery green blue colour. Gaz Jennings from, as you can see on there, in Cathedral, from Cathedral and stuff. Oh, the guy from Angel Witch is also on it. Limited to 666 copies. Classic. Yeah, this is really good actually. I guess at the time you consider this band a German band, maybe at the time. I don't know. But yeah, this is like the first album that's slightly different to the rest of the stuff. I think the first album's kind of like the first pressing is quite rare now. But yeah, really glad to have this one. This is on like Rise Records, that I believe is owned by the guy that Rise Above Records, sorry. That the original singer from Napalm Death's label. Yeah, really cool. I love Lucifer. This is like probably my least favourite album, just because I prefer like the sound that they like evolved into. But really good to have this. Yeah, so I got this kind of recently as well. Right, next, a classic that I used to love when I was a kid and still do. This is Stay Out of Order by the Casualties. This is like their third album. This is a Pogo Records album. Found it still in the shrink wrap on eBay for like 15 quid or something. Cannot go wrong. I've had it on CD for 10 plus years. Probably one of my more favourite Casualties LPs, to be honest. That sort of like middle ground before, like, you know, they just got out of their like early sound and they're just sort of going into what they sort of become now. But they kind of perfected their sound at this time. Love it, absolutely love this. This is from like 2000, I think it was. Let me just check. It does not say. Yeah, I think it's from around 2000, that kind of time. But yeah, fantastic. Love Stay Out of Order. Really good, really cool. Next something that's different. I know this is a slightly later reissue, but this is Wildcat by Tigers of Pantang. New wave British heavy metal band. I think this is from like 1981, 1980. I should really get these like years sorted out. But yeah, really cool cover. Like, that's gonna grab you when you see that in the shop, innit? But yeah, really cool album. Probably one of their better ones, I would say. Very rock and roll. You know, it's kind of raw still. It's not like it's not very sort of refined in terms of production, but really cool. I mean, a lot of new wave British heavy metal was like that anyway, especially with that era. You know, you can say you compare them to like the punk bands at the time, very sort of raw recordings, which I love. Like, that's why I love new wave British heavy metal a lot, because of that kind of style. But yeah, really cool. Love the cover. I mean, you know, it's great, isn't it? So yeah, got that recently. I showed one of this band's other records the other day, and got this as well, kind of around the same sort of time. But this is No Moderation by Government Warning. Government Warning are a more recent hardcore punk band, very fast, very aggressive. One of my favourites. Paranoid Mess, like I said, is probably one of my favourite hardcore records of the last 20 years or so. But this is just as good, to be honest. Slightly shorter. I think this is on Grave Mistake Records. Really cool. I've just got to hunt down the 7 inches now, because they've got like 3 or 4 7 inches that I don't have. So I've got both LPs, which is great. And yeah, love it. Fucking love this so much. Alright, last but not least, hopefully I haven't been waffling on too long. Let me just have a drink of coffee. Alright. Probably my favourite album by this band, and a classic by so many people will agree. Volume 4 by Black Sabbath. This is a slightly later reissue. I know this is from like 72, but I think this reissue is from like the 80s or something. But yeah, again, really cool. I love this album. I got into Sabbath properly like maybe like 5 years ago or something. I'd always liked them, but I'd always just kind of like, you know, I knew the classics, but I kind of skipped over them quite a bit. And I went through a phase of being like proper into Sabbath. I managed to see them actually on their final tour, which is really cool. the Download Festival in like 2016, which was really cool. But this is always my favourite, and I know a lot of people agree with that. They say it's their best one, but yeah, they're all great. I mean, I even love the Dio stuff and all the other stuff that's followed, but this has got to do it for me. This is like the one that I always go back to. I've had the first album for like 10 years, but I've only listened to it like a few times. But this is the one, you know, the one for me. So yeah, cool. Anyway, so that's all my stuff. Hope everyone's doing all right. I hope that you're not bored of me yet. I know, like, my last video came out like nearly like 2 weeks ago, but like I said, I've still been waiting for some stuff to come. And it might be a little while for the next one because I'm skint now. I've spent all my money, but I might show some stuff anyway. I've got some stuff that I've had kind of recently that I've not showed today because I've just not pulled it out yet. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing all right, and yeah, see you all soon. Thanks very much.